Alright guys, let me tell you a story. You see, way back in the day, back in the summer of 2019, the best time to be an Ant Cruise follower on Twitter, I uploaded the Trollsome commentary, a video that I still mostly agree with, even if the video itself is pretty dog shit. If you want to watch it for yourself, it's somewhere on my Discord server. Go find it. Anywho, I took the video down about a year later since I wasn't proud of it anymore, and I wasn't really sure if I was even doing something correct with my life by making such a video in YouTube's current landscape.
You know, I would love people saying, "Oh,
Chris,
come back." I would love to see
Chris
come back and try to exist in the landscape today.
But rest assured, as time went on, Trollsome's content got even worse, honestly. His content back then was bad enough, but at least he wasn't constantly recycling ideas and forcing in fetishes as much as he does nowadays. But yeah, even with that considered, I just began to think that all the shit I gave him was meaningless since he's ultimately not of importance and I could just remove him from my life completely. If it weren't for him still interacting with my posts like nothing ever fucking happened. I was originally planning on making a video sort of revisiting the commentary with the intention of putting it in a more mature light and bringing the hatchet, but you know, he's seriously done some rather irredeemable shit in his content recently, and I can't let him get away with it any further. This seriously needs to be called out. My original response was a project kind of satirizing the whole thing, but since Trollsome has all the intelligence of Odie from Garfield, he deadass actually liked the project and subsequently exposed it to his equally brain-dead fanbase. As such, I deleted it and decided that I need to make a more straightforward response to it. As for any of you asking why I can't just confront Trollsome directly, well, I tried, but most of the time my response was literally nothing or an excuse that does little to nothing to justify anything. So yeah, with that out of the way, what exactly did Trollsome do to outdo himself this time? Well, for those of you who were around back in the day to see the old Trollsome commentary, in such a way that makes me sound like a fusion of Sammy Classic Sonic fan and the mysterious Mr. Enter on steroids.
On the original Scratch project, it literally says nothing about that. And the project title is
Security System Takes Control of Squidward's House.
Ranted about a project called Polly is Pregnant, a quote-unquote joke project that showcased his main female OC, who is a minor, being pregnant. Even if it wasn't a joke, this project would be actually relatively tame for Trollsome standards nowadays. Of course, it's still a prime example of Polly being used as nothing but a sex slave, but when you think about it, I don't think he's gonna be jacking off to a simple image of her being pregnant. No, what he really is gonna be jacking off to is this really bizarre cloning fetish he seems to have. I mean, he's definitely always had it, but he's been really overdoing it as of late. It literally takes up nearly half of the first page of his Scratch projects. And of course, the one that is being used for this fetish perhaps the most is Polly. Especially in this adult form, which I assume he only uses to justify sexualizing her even further. And his excuse for all this is, of course,
at least colored clothes are not bad as inflation fetishes.
True that, Polly.
yes. He actually got a literal female to say that for him. This world is kinda screwed, you know? But you know, using your fetishes on your own characters is one thing. It's not like he's ever done any fetish art of other people's characters, right? Well, actually he has. Here's him fetishizing Josh's character, Lily. Both Josh and canonically Lily are minors, and Josh didn't consent to this, of course. I told Josh about how Trollsome was most likely jacking off to his characters because of this image via voice chat a while ago, and yeah, Josh took it about as well as you'd expect. And Josh isn't even the only victim of this. As of recent, he's also done it to an OC by some YouTuber named Jack Hedgehog, and he's also done it to Ellie the Scratcher's Sona. Yes, he's literally doing it to a minor's persona. Unlike Josh, Ellie seems to be blissfully unaware of this, so yeah. Ellie, if you happen to be watching this, just know that your friend is jacking off to an artistic representation of you without your consent. And if that wasn't bad enough, yes, it actually gets worse from here. Trollsome is also literally making spam accounts on Twitter and Discord that are pretty much dedicated to harassing Josh with the fetish art. Look, Trollsome, even if you weren't doing that to Josh, please just don't interact with him at all. Just like me, he's had enough of your shit and wants to cut things off with you. You either try to improve as a person and earn his respect back, or don't and deal with the consequences. I'm not telling you this for the sake of fucking with you anymore. I'm dead serious this time. If this is the route that you, a guy who is literally going on 18 in just a year, continue taking, then I guarantee things are not going to end up well at all for the rest of your life. It was concerning enough when you were doing this shit when you were 14, but now you're literally reaching adulthood. You'll most likely end up on several different lists.
So, you're not even going to mention the project where it's pretty much just a rehash of that Fizz Pop Lemonade commercial, except it literally ends with Trollsome forcing Polly, a minor, to drink his, Winky Dink drink?
Honestly, Sarah, I'm not even shocked by that anymore, aside from the fact that he actually thought posting that to Scratch, a website for children, was a good idea. I'm also especially baffled by how aware of the negative response to the whole Papito thing he was, and he constantly acts all self-aware about it, even going as far as making a goddamn cringe compilation of himself, yet now he consistently makes far worse content.
How can you even call it self-awareness if all he does is simply acknowledge everyone else's bad response without even putting its subjective level of quality into consideration anyway? Seriously, how is a somewhat suggestive dance worse than being forced to drink, baby creation tools? Yeah, I'd say the cringe compilation was cringe for much different reasons than he expected.
I don't even think he cares anymore. He's just fallen off so much that I don't even think reality can settle in for him at all. Just like how Explosia of all people literally had to let him know of his mental age, and this was all he had to say about that. It's rather confusing. As badly as he took the whole Papito thing, I don't know why he chooses to acknowledge how much of a mistake that was, when he not only makes worse content now, but is doing things that are either annoying at best or downright fucked up at worst. Seriously guys, imagine how you would feel knowing that Trollsome is sexually fantasizing about your OCs, specifically the ones that are minors, or even worse, your literal Sona. In conclusion, pretty much any brain cell that Trollsome previously had at this point is gone, and it's led to him doing some pretty disgusting shit. Like, I could care less about what you do to your own characters at this point, just please at least have the decency to leave other people out of it. And also, most importantly, if someone wants nothing to do with you, respect their boundaries, please. I don't care about how much you miss them, and I don't care about what level of autism you have. That's not an excuse, and people I know who have autism know better than this. Like the previous Trollsome video, this video wasn't made with the intention to have anyone go witch hunt Trollsome, but it more so serves as a question for his fans. For those of you in his little sub-community that happen to be watching this, I know that some of you are just gonna completely ignore anything I have to say, and given that all of you share the same amount of brain cells, I can see why you all choose to associate with this person. But still, does he really amount to just as much, even after putting everything I have said into consideration? Feel free to tell me and your reason why or why not. And it even more so serves as a question to Trollsome himself. Trollsome, if you're watching this, and I know you're going to eventually, even if you're likely either going to ignore it or just make an argument that misses the point entirely, I just have to ask, are you happy with your reputation now? Do you value attention as long as it's attention at all rather than positive attention? If anything I'm saying isn't true, then I don't really know what to tell you except that you desperately need to rethink your actions up to this point. As for everyone else, do you think I was being too harsh or did you deserve it? Believe me, this was not the type of video I wanted to make regarding this topic, but honestly, I don't see any point in wasting my breath on anything longer. I'm just tired and really wish Trollsome would suffer some sort of consequences for his behavior already. So yeah, that's it. I wouldn't place all bets on subscribing since I'm unsure of my own video releasing schedule, so just follow me on Twitter, and I hope you're having a better day than I am uploading this video. Bye.